Okay, thank you everybody for coming. Greetings and welcome. Thank you for coming for the sickle cell cause. This is our first open house meeting for 2021. So we've was able to get through 2020. So we give gratitude and much deep thanks for that. I was asked to start this meeting explaining what is sickle cell. However, that subject has been covered, on multiple occasions, and we've got lots of videos within Sickle Cell Cause of us explaining what sickle cell is. So if anybody wants that, a video of our explanation of what is sickle cell and also who is Sickle Cell Cause, please just put in the chat box your email address and your request of what it is you want, and it will be sent to you over the weekend. Also throughout the course of the presentation, please feel free, you are encouraged to use the chat box, because at the end of each presentation there'll be a brief question and answer, but at the end of the complete meeting we'll open up and address what is in the chat box, so all questions can get answered, or as many as possible. Just for me personally, I just would like to say that 2020 began, with us so full of promise. For me personally, we had we coined the phrase 2020 vision for the sickle cell condition, only for our plans to be changed, so much, so with so much grief and anxiety, throughout the year. Shakira, I don't know if you can hear me, but if you can put yourself on mute, so we don't hear the children. Thank you. So I'd like to actually begin this meeting in remembrance of some of our loved ones, because 2020 was such a challenging year, and we lost so many, of our friends, family, sickle cell warriors, and it was challenging having to raise money as well to help with funeral costs and, things like that, that we didn't address anything that we had originally planned for 2020 with our vision. The world, sort of like changed our plans for us, so I'd like to just, ask for like a minute's silence. I just would like to read out some names of people that we lost in 2020, and also if you'd like to call out some names as well, just so that, just in remembrance, let the ancestors know, let the world know that we do not forget, we always remember, and we will strive hard to make a difference and make a change. I'd like to call out the name Jane Bednall, Douglas Williams, also known as Brother Dougie, Lorna Gibson, personal friend, deep friend and sickle cell warrior, Leroy McDowell, grew with him, another warrior, Jan Edwards, or otherwise known as Lady Leo, a staunch sickle cell supporter, Paul Lawrence, another sickle cell supporter. Please, I'm just going to be quiet for a minute. During this minute, if anybody wants to say any names, on the call, on the meeting, please just unmute yourselves and say some names. I'll just stay silent for a minute. Thank you. Okay, so thank you. So today we begin with our health solution run for 2021, and I'll just read some of my notes, And as you know, Sickle Cell Cause has been advocating and promoting alternative health, holistic health therapies since our conception. And we see that we've arrived at a time where this information that we've been sharing for so many years is so important, you know. So we'll continue our sharing with our warrior spirit and zest to stay alive against all the odds, you know, being stacked up against us, you know, since our births. You know, so as a sickle cell warrior, our life has just been a hard struggle of, you know, of staying alive, you know, and with our holistic remedies and, you know, education, that is, you know, a great source of education for us to continue our battle. So today we're going to lead with a strong feminine energy, and our speakers know their craft well. So without further ado, I'm not going to take up any more of your time. All I ask is that you have pen and paper ready, you know, as I welcome to the platform our first speaker, you know, of the day. She's no stranger. She's known by many of us because she is, in fact, the Sickle Cell Cause resident natural health advisor, you know, and she's been helping us to create health naturally. Her book, you know. So all I'm going to say is please unmute yourself and introduce yourself and share your education with us. Family, I give to you Miss FREDA GAISIE. Thank you.
Hello everybody. Good to be here at this first meeting. I just want to start off with, Samantha asked me to come and share something, especially in light of the atmosphere and the weather that we're in at the moment in the winter, and how those with sickle cell, what they can do to actually help themselves, because we all know that this is the worst weather that we can encounter. We notice that this is the type of weather where we get a lot of crisis and get sick and end up in hospital and things like that. So if we can avoid it, even better. So I'd like to start off with just in terms of our health, how important it is for all of us to take control of our health, our own health, and bring the control of our health back into our hands and out of the hands of other people, because no one can take care of your own health better than yourself, and that requires a lot of education in order to do that. We're hearing a lot of stories of what's going on in hospitals at the moment, and so we know that the hospital is not the place that we need to be right now. So as we begin the process of healing ourselves, it really has to be taken in our own hands and done that. Most of you will know that I've shared, and also I share in my book, the importance of cleansing the body in terms of the accumulation that happens in the body. Most of us have heard about Dr. Sebi. Dr. Sebi says that there's only one disease, which is mucus, and that is true. The body accumulates. The body needs mucus for lubrication and so many different functions, but when it gets an excessive amount of mucus in the body, that's where the problem comes in. You get a lot of, and that happens through many of the foods that we eat, acid foods, such as processed foods, man-made foods, things like white flour products and dairy products and red meats. And these sort of foods build up excess mucus in the body, and that causes acidity, and then it causes inflammation, and then it turns into one condition or another, or it will worsen the condition that you're actually going through. So the number one thing for me is always cleansing, and that's what I started off with when I got the knowledge of the importance of cleansing for the body. I just jumped on it. And because the body itself was originally made to cleanse itself. We have our lymphatic system and our kidneys and the bowels and all these functions that help to cleanse the body on a daily basis. But because of the processed foods that are very difficult to digest, the body is not able to do that. It's not able to cleanse itself. It's not able to do what it's supposed to do. So we need to give it some help in order to do that. And that's where the cleansing comes in terms of deep cleansing. Obviously, fruits and vegetables, foods like that are very, very cleansing to the body. So it's good to get a very high nutritious diet, so you can help with the cleansing process using fruits and vegetables, using foods basically. And as well as that, it's very important to do that deep cleanse on a regular basis. because we can't see what's going on in the insides of our bodies, we feel that maybe it's not necessary. But this, the lack of cleansing, the excess mucus is what really makes the condition worse. And this, the accumulation can be in the form of, as we've said, mucus, could be heavy metals, could be toxins, and also the bowel area. It's very important to get that area moving, because once that stagnates, it jumps to different conditions of the body. So number one is cleansing. And I always say cleanse, 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 because the body will accumulate and it will stagnate foods that you have eaten in the past. And a lot of people have accumulation from maybe something that they've ate 5, 10, 15 years ago. And if the digestive system is not working properly to eliminate that because of the processed foods that we've been eating, then it's just, it's really pointless to try and do take any type of supplement to try and correct that, because that wouldn't do that. The first thing you have to do is to get rid of that excess waste in the body, so whatever you take can assimilate properly into the channels of the body and into the cells and to do what it needs to do. And in terms of what you can do for the winter, I'm sure that most of us know the importance of vitamin D, and especially people with our skin color. We come from the sun, and when we're not getting the sun, it causes a lot of problems, different problems in the body. And a lot of people have found that once they've got on a vitamin D, especially a vitamin D3, and if you can take vitamin D3 with K2, then that will assimilate even better into the body. So it's very, very important to get your vitamin D levels very, very high. If not from the sun, then from the supplement. So that's the second thing. And also in terms of foods that are warming for the body, natural foods that are warming for the body, things like cayenne pepper. And put cayenne pepper in your food, and that's very, very good for also circulation. And once you get the blood circulating, then it's easier for the body to be oxygenated. But without circulation, you've got that same stagnation that's causing problems and causing people to get sick. So cayenne pepper, also things like ginger, is very warming for the body. But as I said, once you get the excess mucus out of the body and the excess accumulation out of the body, then these things will work even better for you. And also another thing that is very, very important, we've heard this going around actually since the COVID situation has started, that warm, hot steam. If you can use that hot steam on a regular basis, what it does, it will dislodge, it will melt and dislodge any excess mucus that's in the lungs or different parts of the body, and it will help to flush that out of the body. So, you simply have to take a bucket, boiling water, you can put some essential oils in there, like peppermint or any type of oils, and put your head over that, a towel over that, and breathe in the steam that's coming from that, and that will go deep within the body, dislodge mucus, and remove that from your system. Also, hot water is very, very important. You've heard about the Chinese, that they drink several cups of hot green tea per day, and they hardly get sick because they've got that constant warm or hot water going into their system, so it's not allowing the buildup of mucus. So it's important to take that on a daily basis, several times a day. I wake up first thing in the morning, the first thing I do is I have my hot water. I have about 500, there's a 500 ml glass, so that's like half a liter. So I have that first thing in the morning. And after that, I mean, I usually don't eat in the morning. I usually don't eat till about 12:30 or even 1 o'clock, because I do intermittent fasting. And intermittent fasting is very, very good for cleansing the body and helping the body to heal different conditions. So for example, if I have my last meal in the evening about 7:30, I will not eat again till the next day about 12:30 or 1 o'clock. So that gives me a good 18 hours a day to help my body to cleanse itself. Because if you're constantly eating, you know, one meal after the other or one snack after the other, you're not giving your body a chance to cleanse itself, to heal itself, to rebuild itself. So it's really important if you can get into that intermittent fasting. That will really help you a lot. So I do that, and then around 1:30, I'll have lunch, which is always a big salad. I have a great big salad with about 2 or 3 different types of lettuce or kale, and cucumber, olives, avocado, just as much green, colorful stuff as possible. You can add red peppers and do really nice sauces to go with that. And but before that, I always have a smoothie. I have about I have banana, pineapple, sometimes papaya. Then I'll have some berries. I'll have blueberries, cherries, sometimes raspberries, and I will have that. So I'm getting a good portion of raw food, starting from the smoothies and then the salads. So it's good to get a good amount of raw foods into your system, because the raw food is the what can I say, is the fuel that we need to heal our body. And I always compare the body, the human body, to the car. It works in a very similar way. You have a car, the designer designed the car with different functions, different parts to do different things. And the manufacturer also puts a certain component for the car to take a certain fuel, whether it's diesel or whether it's petrol. Now, if you have a car that's petrol and you decide to put diesel into it, something's going to happen. It's going to break down and it's going to stop working. The human body functions exactly the same way. We were designed to take certain fuel into the body to help to build the body, cleanse the body, maintain the body so that we don't get sick. And our body was actually created never to get sick. But because of man-made foods and toxins and stuff like that, we get sick all the time. So when you put the correct fuel in the body, which is raw, living, highly alkaline, electric food into your system, that's the correct fuel that you need, that the body needs to do what it's supposed to do, to help itself, to heal itself, to build the cells, and to not get sick. And I know it's not easy in the modern world that we live in today, because we have all sorts of foods around us, man-made foods that's made to tempt us, you know, obviously to sell as much as possible, but the manufacturers are doing very well with that. But with us, when we take it, we go downhill, because it's not the right type of food for our body. It's dead food, and dead foods will cause sickness. It will cause premature death at the end of the day. And the one thing that they do, they put a lot of chemicals and toxins in these foods, so it gets you hooked. So you become addicted to it, and that's a problem. That's one of the biggest problems, is the addiction of these foods. And if we go back to living foods, There's a difference between living foods and dead foods. Living foods, obviously, is living. It has the living enzymes. It has the electricity, because we are electric beings. So when we take the electric foods, that works very well, it marries very well with our system. So you eat living foods, it helps your body to live longer, to live the way it's supposed to live. And on the other hand, when we take the dead foods, it's complete deterioration of the body, of the eyes, of the ears, of different organs of the body, and the body just goes down. And the sad thing about it, because we put our hands in the hands of other people that are really, in my opinion, in the business to make money and not really to help people. Because if the system was set up to help people, people will get sick, they will go in, they'll come out, they'll be completely, you know, they'll be taught how to heal themselves and basically, you know, build the cells, build every part of the body so that it will prevent the sickness. But you go in hospital, there's no healing at all. There's no talk of healing. It's always about maintenance, maintaining your health, maintaining the condition. And that's what it's all about. And for me, it's not about maintenance. You have to set that goal to heal what's going on in your body, because it's a tragedy to have a condition and go through that condition for the rest of your life when there is something you can do. There are so many different things that you know, we can do to reverse that situation. So it's really important, you know, taking that control, because you are your best advocate for your health and how you want to live and how you want your health to be like. So that you know, is really important to do that for yourself and do that for your family. Learn as much as you can about, you know, how to do it. It's not difficult at all. It may seem difficult and it may seem time consuming, but it's not really. It's just as like lifestyle. But it's a lifestyle to get well. It's also a lifestyle to get sick. So, you know, we just have to make that choice, you know, sickness or health, and set that goal to do that, to achieve that for ourselves, and teach that to our children and our families, so our children know how to maintain perfect health as they're growing up, and they pass it on and so forth. So it's important to get out of that trap with the food system and the health system that's not helping us, and get back to what our ancestors did. You know, they lived off the land. They ate living foods, and living foods is food, anything that grows under the ground, on top of the ground, on a tree, or on a bush. That is living food. So that's the type of foods that we need to get most of in our body. And I think a good ratio is, I would say 80 to 20, get at least 80% living foods in your body if you want to help yourself. Remind me of the time, Sam, because I'm not watching the clock. So please let me know when my time is up. Okay.
You've got some time left. So if you've got more information, please share. Yeah, please continue.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. I shared about controlling our health and addressing our food. Also, okay, boosting the immune system. As we do all of this, obviously that boosts our immune. We were given our immune system. Our immune system is like a natural vaccine. So that's what we need to concentrate on. Boosting our God-given immune system rather than relying on a vaccine that is man-made, that has all sorts of stuff in there. So do your best to take the living foods, boost your immune system, take the antioxidants that's needed. If you need to take supplement in addition to the foods you're eating, then, you know, just help yourself to just build up that immunity so that immune system can fight for you, can work for you and fight any diseases that comes along. That's also very, very, very important. Do that on my website. I have it. It's quite a new website, but I'm putting a lot of information on there, a lot of health tips, and I have a list of mucus-less foods, so foods that you can eat that will help to eliminate the mucus from your body. I have a list of fruits that will help to do that, a list of vegetables that will help to eliminate mucus, and I have a list of herbs that will help to eliminate mucus. So if you can go on there and have a look at some of these foods that you can use in your daily life to help to cleanse the body and also build up your immune system at the same time.
Okay. I did want to ask a question, though, about L-arginine. I don't even know if I'm saying it correctly. What is the benefits of L-arginine, and what?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. L-arginine, its function is to help to circulate, get the blood circulating, and also it helps to bring oxygen to the cells. So you'll benefit with that, especially with sickle cell. We know that a big problem is lack of circulation and lack of oxygen to the cells. So, and that's why the crisis occurs. So L-arginine is amino acid, is one of the amino acids, and so when taken, it will really get that blood circulating. When you have proper blood circulation, it's basically taking care of any stagnant blood that's flowing around in the body. So it gets circulation going, and when you have circulation going, it sends fresh blood to any part of the body that's not doing well. So it's a good idea to take L-arginine, and also, as I mentioned, oxygen. It oxygenates the cells. So that is one good thing that will help to reduce the amount of crisis that you're having, and also reduce hospital visits. L-arginine is very, very important. And in terms of keeping the body warm, it's important to get blood circulation for that to happen.
Okay, thanks. I knew I've been taking it, as you know, but I had forgotten the reason why I was taking it. I just continued to take it, but I thought, let's have a reminder of why I'm actually taking it, because I know it's so important for people, especially with sickle cell, to take L-arginine, but I just couldn't remember the actual reason why, I was actually taking it. Did you have anything else that you wanted to share with us?
Well, in terms of
yeah, in terms of anything, just give all the information you've got.
Okay, all right. The only thing I'd like to share on is the importance of water. I'm sure we all know about hydration of the body, where 80 to 90, whatever percent they say, of water. So it's very, very important, as we know, to hydrate. But the water that we take is also very, very important. And I've researched quite a few different waters in terms of reverse osmosis water and alkaline water and distilled water. The best water that I found was distilled water, because what I did a few years back, I got somebody to come and test a few different waters. I had reverse osmosis. I had the tap water. They tested Evian, and they tested Volvic. And what they do, they take electrodes. They put electrodes in the water, switch on the machine, and all the impurities will rise to the top of the water. And when you look at the water, it's completely clear to the eyes to look at. So you cannot see the impurities until the electrodes have gone in. and the impurity starts to rise up. The cleanest was the reverse osmosis. It was quite clean and pure. The next cleanest was the Volvic. Then the Evian and then the tap water were the two worst ones. You can actually see like a grey browny film that rose to the top. The Volvic was a little bit of color, but not too off color. The Evian was a bit darker. So every time I'm out and I don't take my water with me and I need water, I always make sure I buy Volvic. But since that time, I came across distilled water, and I did a lot of research about distilled water. Found a lot of negative, well, not a lot of negative stuff, but I found one particular article from Dr. McCullough, and entitled "Early Death from Distilled Water." Now, when I saw that, I was quite surprised, because I had been taking distilled water and I had done the research, and I found that he didn't really explain it properly, and he didn't really understand it, because what he was saying is that distilled water pulls all the minerals out of the body. But he didn't differentiate is that there are two types of minerals. One is minerals that we find in organic minerals, basically. You find in fruits, vegetables, nuts and seeds. So you find in food, that's organic minerals. And inorganic minerals are minerals that you find in rock, dirt, stone, and stuff like that. And the inorganic minerals, the body cannot assimilate it. So when he was talking about distilled water pulling the minerals out of the body, it pulls out the inorganic minerals, but the organic minerals it will not touch at all. So he didn't put the information out correctly, because our water we're not meant to really, this is another misinformation. We're not really meant to get our minerals from our water. We're meant to get our minerals from our food, fruits and vegetables. The water is supposed to be pure water. So when I found out about the distilled water, and I did the test. I have my own distiller, and I have a TDS meter, which you put that in the water, and you can measure any contaminants in the water. And the distilled water came out with 0 contaminants, absolutely no contaminants, and it actually goes through the same process as rainwater. And also the other thing about distilled water, it will pull out any pathogens, any microorganisms that's in the body that's not supposed to be there. And because distilled water is negatively charged electrically, the negative ions, so that those negative ions become alkaline when you actually take the water, because distilled water in itself, it's very, it's slightly acidic, just like lemon is acidic, but when it goes into the body, it actually becomes alkaline. With lemon and distilled water, does exactly the same thing. It becomes alkaline, and opposed to so this distilled water has a negative ion, is negatively charged. Anything else that's positively charged, like the microorganisms, parasites, worms, anything in the body, they should not be there positively charged electrically. They're just constantly damaging the body. And what the distilled water does, it binds itself, is negative charge, to the positively charged organism, and it pulls that out of the body. So that's why you can take distilled water and get healing from so many different areas of the body. And when I was first doing my research, there was a lady that she was in a wheelchair, and she was suffering from diabetes, type 1 diabetes, meaning that she was born with it. And she took the distilled water she was also in a wheelchair because of that. She started taking the distilled water, and about 3 months into it, she was able to come out of her wheelchair, and the diabetes was gone. Usually when they say you have type 1 diabetes, you have to live with it for the rest of your life, just like they say other conditions. So she was able to walk, and the diabetes was completely gone. And that was just from drinking distilled water. I don't know what her diet was like, but you know, she must have had a pretty good diet for it to happen that quickly. You know, and that's distilled water. I've had a lot of benefits as well. I've seen my eyes clearing up as well, because what happens with the eyes when we drink water that has the inorganic minerals, it causes calcification of the eyes in different parts of the body. And that calcification is like putting tap water in your kettle over a period of time, and it builds up with the lime scale. Now that is inorganic calcium. But that's not the type of calcium that your body can work with, but it will rather accumulate in the body, causing stiff joints, bad eyesight, and all types of problems. Just like with the processed white flour products that we eat, that they cause the same stiffness of joints and calcification of the eyes and other areas. So yeah, so for me, the distilled water is absolutely the number one, because it's cleansing you, it's healing you as well, it's removing stuff out of your body that should not be there. So, and you can get distillers, you can purchase them from, I got mine from a company called Megahan in the UK. And I think I paid about 100 and, I think it was about 160 that I paid, but they have different prices. It starts from about 135 upwards. But it's also important to, it comes with a jug. It's like a big kettle type of thing. It comes with a jug to collect the water. Has a choice of plastic jug or a glass jug, and I would recommend the glass, because the plastic jug can lead, you know, depends on what type of plastic they use, it can leach chemicals into the water. So it's always best to have the glass jug, and there's not that much difference in price. What else?
We do have some questions in the chat box.
Okay.
I did want to
yes, that's the.
I don't know if people see it. That's the machine I've got from your advice a few years ago. So it comes with the jug, you know. And what you have to do is you put they give you, this is the box with a sachet of charcoal.
Yeah, the charcoal. So the charcoal will filter, because you use ordinary tap water. The charcoal will filter any contaminants or chlorine or anything that should not be there, and it actually boils like a kettle. And the steam that's coming out, will start dripping water, and that is the pure distilled water. Yeah.
Because I found that the water, after it's distilled in the machine, you know, after the water's distilled, comes out in the jug, there's a smell. You can smell the toxins and the metal
in the machine, and you can also see a lot of the contaminants in the kettle that's left behind.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's like to know that that's in the tap water and that we've been drinking that tap water, even in some
and people are still drinking tap water thinking there's nothing wrong with it, but there's drug residue in the tap water. There's heavy metals. There's all sorts of things in the tap water. And what put me off of tap water, this was maybe about 30 years ago. My nephew wasn't well. I was at my sister's, and she went to the tap to get some water for him, and she saw like a little white ringworm type of thing in the water, and that was the day that I decided that I'm not going to touch tap water anymore.
Okay. Thanks for that. I know Elaine has a question. I don't know, Elaine, are you able to unmute yourself? Or do I have to? Greetings, Elaine.
Greetings. Good to see everybody. Thank you, FREDA, again for your wonderful information and sharing. Lovely. A couple of questions. The first one was on the water. I missed when you said, adding something to the distilled water becomes alkaline, and I missed what you said about what you added to the water.
No, you don't actually have to add anything to the water, because we're supposed to get our our minerals from fruits and vegetables. But if you, and also I said that distilled water is slightly acid, but once it gets in the body, then it becomes alkaline. But if you do want to add something to the water to make it on the alkaline side, you can just add a bit of lemon juice to that. But again, it's not necessary because it becomes alkaline once it gets into the body.
Okay, yeah, I get you. Sorry, I misunderstood. Yeah, okay. My other question was about when you said earlier about inhalation, and I wondered what oils you like to add to your water for steaming.
Well, yeah, peppermint is very, very good because that opens the nasal passage. So that's very, very good. Oregano oil is very, very good because it's very, very hot as well. So that will just open up the nasal, it will get right into your head as well. But any of your favorite oils, lavender oil, you know, any of your favorite oils, because the main thing is the steam, the hot steam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How often are you doing your steaming?
Well, for me, I just do it occasionally because I've been cleansing for a long time. Now I don't have that accumulation in my body.
Okay.
So the amount of accumulation in my body because I've been cleansing since I would say about 2006, and that's a long time. And it's still working. It's still doing its work. I mean, my body is not 100%, and that's also on top of the deep cleansing that I do, not just with food, but the cleansing that I do with any colon cleansers. But now I mentioned before that I'm on a cabbage juice protocol, and with that does its own level of cleansing and flushing of the body on as I take that on a daily basis. So when your body is when you're a certain level of when you've done a certain level of cleansing, you know, you will not have the same amount of accumulation. So you don't have to do certain things on a daily basis, if you like. So with the hot steam, I just do it just occasionally for me. But for someone that has a lot of accumulation, a lot of mucus that's really sick, I would recommend daily, even twice a day, will be beneficial to dislodging the mucus and removing that out of the system.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thanks for that. I know that Tokwasi, did you have a question about a certain type of water?
No, I was just asking if she tried that water, because I know it's a black-owned water. I don't know if many people's heard of it.
By which water?
Nzinga water.
Nzinga?
Have you heard of it before?
No, I haven't heard of it.
I put it in the chat. You look it up on online. They have got a Facebook page and that.
Yeah, no, I haven't tried that, but I've been taking the distilled water for about 6 years, and I mean, there are so many different types of waters out there, but for me, I find that the distilled water does everything that I need it to do in terms of cleansing and also in terms of the healing properties as well. Yeah, but I haven't heard of that water, no.
It's quite new. I think it's just the end of last year. I think it's last year it came out.
Okay, is it some type of alkaline water or what type of water is it?
Yeah, I think it's a natural spring water, but it's supposed to have different elements in there. It does show it on the website.
Yeah, if it's look into that, because if it's spring water, then it's coming out of the ground, then it will probably have the inorganic minerals from the ground into that particular water that could end up building up in the system. So just look into that.
Okay.
You know, the reason for the distilled water, because it doesn't come out of the ground, it's just made by steam. So it's not picking up anything like the rainwater will pick up the toxins in the air and the smoke or whatever, and water coming out of the ground will pick up the inorganic minerals. But distilled water is completely free of any contaminants.
Okay.
I just had a look at it online, and it looks like it's in a plastic bottle, and we've got to get away from the plastic.
Yeah,
It does say pure natural spring water, but we've got to get away from the plastic.
Yeah. You have another question?
Thanks for that. Thanks for that. I know that Supreme is posting in the groups. He's asked about moon water, and he's also asked about fruits, cucumbers and stuff. Supreme, did you want to ask your questions? Take that as a no. Supreme, are you there? Okay, so FREDA, what Supreme asks is, have you heard of moon water? And also, he's asking, how about getting natural water from fruits, cucumber, melon, etc.? Oh, he said my mic's not working.
Yeah. I mean, getting that's number one. I think getting natural water from fruits and vegetables, but you find it is not enough. It's not enough because we need to hydrate. There is so many things that we're doing, all things that we're taking, foods that we're taking into our system that's dehydrating the body. Now, if you have, if you're like a baby, and you just come out and your body is absolutely pure, and you've got absolutely no pathogens, no microorganisms or anything like that have built up over the years, then the fruits, the water from the fruits and vegetables will be enough. But as an adult, it's very important to take that certain amount of water per day to hydrate our body, and also to help to lubricate and to work cleansing different organs and cleansing the blood and cleansing different parts of the body. So fruit water is good, natural fruits, but it's not really enough. It won't be enough. You get very thirsty.
Thanks for that explanation, FREDA. Does anybody else have any questions at all that they'd like to ask FREDA? You can unmute or put in the chat box. Before you leave, FREDA, I just well, not leave, please stay with us, but before you end your part, I just wanted to ask as well, you see the charcoal that the water goes through, does the charcoal actually add any minerals, or is it just to remove everything from the water through the distiller?
It's just a filter.
Okay.
To filter anything that's coming out of any contaminants that's in the tap water. It will filter it all out. So that's the purpose of the charcoal is a filter. I mean, charcoal in itself is very, very good.
Yeah.
You can get in a tablet form, or so I take the powder form occasionally, but not that often, so I don't need to. But charcoal, activated charcoal is very, very good to take if you've eaten something and you've had some type of food poisoning, for example, and you take a teaspoon of activated charcoal, within 20 minutes, it will get rid of it. It's amazing.
I mean, I can vouch for that. I don't know if you remember when we was in Spain, I think it was like 2011 or 2013, on your health retreat. And I went and I ate something, and then I had, against your laws, I felt that I would go and eat something.
Not my laws, the Father's laws.
Yeah, disobedient me. And then I had the runs, and then you gave me the charcoal, and then within half an hour, less than half an hour, it was all cleared up. I thought I was going to die. It wouldn't stop, and then so I can vouch for the charcoal.
Yeah, charcoal is very powerful for soaking up toxins, any type of toxins in the body. So it's even good. You can use that as part of your cleansing to remove any chemicals that's built up in the body.
Thank you. Well, we're on this sickle cell causes on our mission for a solution for better health throughout 2021. So we call it our solution run for 2021, because we need to stay out of the hospital. So we need to know what, you know, people need to know. We need to share the information that we've been sharing for years, you know. So today I'm so grateful that you've shared what you have, especially about the water, you know, about like cleansing, because those are the basics, you know. I mean, there's a lot more for people to know. It's in your book, and of course we'll invite you to come back and share again, you know. But for now, I'd just like to say, FREDA, thank you so much for joining us. You know, people can still put questions in the chat box that you can answer later on, you know. But yeah, thank you so much. You know,
You're very welcome.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
please stay with us.
Okay.
You know. Okay, so moving on. As I said, people can please use the chat box for questions further on. But now I'd like to introduce our next speaker. As I said, we have a very strong feminine energy today. And as you can see, we have Dr. Yewande come to speak. Oh, sorry. You know, and she's the UK's first Black female to gain a medical cannabis, you know, a PhD in medical cannabis research. You know, she is the founder of the Medical Cannabis Alliance. You know, she is a health strategist with medical cannabis, and she is a trustee for the Transform Drug Policy Foundation. So we do not bring you anybody that do not know their craft. So I'd like to introduce and ask to please open up yourself, Dr. Yewande, and please take the platform. Thank you.
First of all, I want to say thank you so much, my warrior queen, for our path to cross when you came to one of my events. I think that was in November. I'm so pleased that sometimes when we meet people at the right time. I've been wanting to work with sickle cell for a long time. I shall tell you why. And I'd like to thank our first speaker, FREDA. It's amazing. I know about distilled water and I've never used it. And because I've been at home, just as you were speaking, I thought, oh my God, I've been drinking tap water because I've been at home. I've had aches and pains. Because normally I'm on the road, I travel a lot. So I drink, I used to have a filter that I'll take with me, or I'll buy a bottled water. And I thought, oh my God, it's the tap water that I've been drinking because I've been at home. So keep on sharing. You never know when